Are you trying to find the best deals online when it comes to your travels? I know, it could be a nightmare. Let me save you some time and of course some money. I Go For Less, the one and only platform you need to go and find the best deals online, from flights, hotels, weeks, cruises and more. This is a completely free travel booking platform where you can save up to 70% on your travels. Cool, here's what you've got to do. Step 1. Go to bit.ly/travel savings code page. You'll find the link in the description below. Step 2. Find and enter the code you see on the page to create your free account. Step 3. Start saving. Anytime, anywhere. When it is time for you to book your next trip. Pretty simple, right? And did I tell you it is free? And it's also forever to use and to keep. Again, go on bit.ly/travel savings code page. Use the code you'll find on the page and start enjoying your savings.
I am super excited about what we are about to do. Never done this before in my history of being a part of iBuumerang and the fashion that we're about to do it. We have two superstars that I want to feature today that are just absolutely making things happen. Now, I want you to understand my reasoning of having these two individuals on. It's because they're just killing it, man. You know, in the midst of why all of us could be making very, very necessary excuses in our life, you know, because of what's going on with coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. But these two individuals, one from Jamaica, Mr. Horace Daley, and then we have from the Northeast coast, I believe, are you in Pennsylvania or you're somewhere in the Northeast? We have Martha. Martha, pronounce your last name for me so I don't jack it up.
Ermias, Martha Ermias.
All right. Well, I'm excited to have both of you on. Horace, if you can come on and just say hi to everybody real quick and introduce yourself.
Wagwan.
Wagwan, all the way from Jamaica. So you're in Jamaica right now, Horace, making things happen. Give us a little background on yourself.
All right. So I got introduced to network marketing about 5 years ago, maybe 5.5 years ago. At the time, I was, very skeptical. So I said no to the opportunity at first. And then around 9 months later, my economy had changed. I went out to play football, which is what you guys call soccer, but it's really football. And
I apologize for the United States of America for calling soccer football. It makes no sense to me.
I broke my leg, and then when I broke my leg, I immediately...
You broke your leg, okay.
Yeah, so I broke my leg, and when I broke my leg, I immediately realized that I needed a plan B. So I was a little bit more open-minded this time around, and then I got introduced to the opportunity again. And this time I said yes. Did really well with the company. It took me about 3.5 years to go full-time, but when I did, it really went full-time.
Got
then
it.
here I'm iBuumerang now.
Awesome. Honored to have you on the family, baby. All right, Martha, tell the people a little bit about yourself. Then I'm going to interview you guys and dig more out of you. But if you could just tell them a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Martha Ermias, and I actually live in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, got it.
Hampshire, Nashua, New Hampshire. So I'm originally from a country called Eritrea. It's in the eastern part of Africa.
Yes.
The northern part of Ethiopia. A lot of people don't know about it. So I came to the US about 20 years ago to do a graduate study. So I have a master's in international business, started working at a community college, became an assistant dean, had that career for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I got introduced to network marketing because I really wanted to be in business, but I didn't know what kind of business. And when I saw network marketing, it made a lot of sense, especially, because it really gives opportunity, equal opportunity to a lot of people. And I really liked it. So last 4.5 years, I was in network marketing, and 5 months ago, I had some success over there, but 5 months ago I got introduced to iBuumerang, and I felt like I'm home right now.
Awesome. So you've been a part of iBuumerang for 5 months.
5 months, yeah.
5 months. So you would have joined, what is that, November?
October.
October. So we actually got started right around the same time. I was a part of iBuumerang since very early on, since day one, but I really didn't pull the trigger in iBuumerang until November the 2nd. That's when I officially made the announcement to go full time. So congratulations on both of your success and everything that's going on in your business. Here's the purpose of why I wanted to do an interview and just take it to the world live is because right now we're in a situation where everybody, for the first time in history, of mankind, we are all focused on the same thing. Like this, like we're in a place right now that has never existed. We all know the name of the thing we're focused on, and we all know the name of the thing that we're running from, and that is the coronavirus. That's the COVID-19. So here's the thing that I wanted to bring to the table. You know, one of my favorite quotes on the planet, I went to a seminar, paid $10,000 to go to a 3-day seminar with Les Brown, and somebody said something from stage. I don't even think it was him. It was somebody else. Somebody said, adversity causes some people to break, but it causes others to become record breakers. And that's a quote by a man by the name of William Ward, who's actually from my hometown. I didn't find this out until about 10 years later of, you know, telling this quote around the world. Eventually, a friend of mine named Bobby Miner gave me a copy of a book, and he said, man, you're not going to believe this. This quote comes from a professor from Fort Worth, and you're from Fort Worth. And he said, adversity causes some people to break, but it causes others to become record breakers. I'm going to repeat that one more time because I want everybody to understand. Adversity causes some people to break. And by some people, that's the masses. The masses of individuals around the planet that say, you know what, I give up. I throw in the towel. I'm out of here. I can't do anything else. That's giving up. That's breaking. Adversity causes most people to break, but it causes others to become record breakers. There's something in some people that when most of the world is breaking and giving up in life, somehow, some way, you have individuals that just refuse to give up. They refuse to give up. As a matter of fact, they don't give up. They go stronger, they go faster, they go harder. And here's why I wanted to interview Horace and Martha, is because they're going faster. They're going stronger. They're going harder. So who else but to interview but the individuals that are absolutely making that happen? So Martha, you're on the northeast side of the United States, but you're building all over the world. I am seeing people join your organization in Israel and Norway, throughout Europe and Africa and so many other places. How are you getting people to make a decision in the midst of adversity when most of the world is on standby, waiting to see what's going on? Somehow, some way, you are leading people, not just to join iBuumerang, but to champion the cause in iBuumerang. And I salute you for that. Martha, what would you say that you are doing right now in your organization that's throwing gas on a fire in the midst of tragedy?
Well, I think not just right now, but the way we build, the way it's really from the bottom of my heart. You can't control what you can't control, but you really have to control what you can control, which is—
Hold on. I don't want to rush over that. You got to say that again. You can't control what you can't control. Do that again. Slow down. I know it's simple for you, but I want people to get that.
Yeah. Well, stuff that you can't control. Okay, let me just take a step back. I always believe, like, if my life is affected because of things I can't control, I have no say on that. I really don't care, to be honest, because I can't control that. But I'm really concerned about the things that I can control. And because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, my life is affected by that. I can't forgive myself. So I always focus on the things that I can control. And that's how I've always led my team as well. Just focus on what you can control. There's even before coronavirus, there's a lot of things that affect our lives, or the negativity that comes and things like that. So that's really how we train our team and talk to people that, really what choices can you make that you can control. So we focus on that. And, with all this, that's the optimism and positivity that we continue to go by, basically.
So quick question for you. When was the first time you heard about the coronavirus?
I think I was in Canada.
You're in Canada.
Yeah, I would say about 4 weeks ago, and I was sick. I actually had some cold, really bad cold. So, that's the time I heard about it. But I actually, I think about a week ago is when I really started to pay attention to the news, because, even though I hear about it, I wasn't really paying attention that much about it. But now I do. However, I still can't control it, but I can control what I am. I'm not going to sit down and just wait for something to happen, but because the thing is, I understand that nothing might happen around me. Like I know a lot, you know, nothing might happen in my life. So if I was just waiting, I'm just losing my time.
That's awesome, man. I love your attitude. I love your spirit. I'm gonna go to Horace real quick and I'm gonna come back to you. Horace, let's talk about Jamaica right now. You're on an island, and I've been on many islands throughout the Caribbean, and I know, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, having a radio or a sound system on the porch in your front yard with the news playing is pretty common in the islands, yeah?
Not right now. We're most in Vibes Cartel and Movado, no, not Movado.
So
the Six is real and all of those type of people.
Hold on one second. I'm kind of losing you a little bit. I just want to make sure that everybody's hearing what you're saying. So you're on an island. I'm jokingly saying that, but typically people would use that as an excuse to stop growth. It's like, Johnny, you don't understand, man. We're on an island. When negative news hits the island, it hits everywhere at the exact same time. How are you building in the midst? So when did you find out about coronavirus?
Last December, I believe.
Last December.
But I didn't really.
So you heard about it early on, so did I. And we just came out of an amazing event where all of us were there. I think about maybe 4 or 6 weeks ago. I could be wrong. My dates are totally off. How many?
Maybe 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks ago, we were all in Houston, Texas at Accelerate, about 9,000 people, amazing event. And then people get home and then they start putting on the news, you know, quarantine, you know, don't travel and all this other stuff. Well, we just came back hanging out with people from all over the world. How did you keep the mindset in your organization to continue to grow even in the midst of all this, you know, negative news?
All right. So I was sharing this with Michael Jex the other day. We come from a country where we spent 5 years promoting a travel product. And for the 5 years that we promoted that travel product, the truth is nobody could travel. You know, we had 90% of the persons who joined, they didn't have the travel credentials. They probably didn't even have the money to travel. So for us, we were always focused on the opportunity. It wasn't about, you know, the product or the service or stuff like that. It was about what can this vehicle do for me? And so being a part of that, you know, that opportunity for 5 years, going through the negative media, I feel like I've been down this road before. So it's just like, you know, I'm living my third life, doing this all over again. So it doesn't feel any different. So when everybody else was focused on Corona, I was just focused on how can we make money. And, you know, like Martha said, you have to focus on the things you can control. And I tell my guys this all the time. You know, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Honestly, I didn't finish reading the book, but there was one chapter that I got, and I never left that chapter. It's the circle of influence. The coronavirus, it's there. And I have no control over that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I can't come up with a cure. Well, here's what I can do. I need to ensure that if in the event, you know, anybody in my family contracts the virus or I contract the virus, it takes care. And so we have to focus on what the opportunity can do for us. So we decided to go there and just build. So when everybody else was like, you know, you probably shouldn't go to Texas. They have 6 cases in Texas. I didn't care. You know, I was like, what's to be will be. I can't control that, but I'm going to control my income and everybody else is falling apart. Right. So, you know, that was just the mindset.
Okay. And I believe that right now, what we're dealing with right now is different than what we were dealing with even 2 weeks ago. So to be conscious, to be smart, and to stay home. Like there's nothing wrong with us with staying home right now. As a matter of fact, you know, you got to protect you, protect your family, protect the elderly people who are part of your family, people that you love. So you going out could put your family at risk, especially elderly people. So be smart, be wise. You know, I'm confined to my house right now. But I can tell you this, even being confined to the house, I'm seeing our numbers shoot through the roof. And here's why I believe this is happening. I believe that the numbers are shooting through the roof because for the first time ever, the entire world is thinking making money from home. They have no choice but to think, how am I going to survive from home? And I believe this is a huge golden nugget to why many individuals are, you know, not just fighting through the storm, they're prospering through the storm. And I'm seeing it with my own eyes. And the reason I wanted to slow down to interview you two is because you guys are building in territories above and beyond outside your own country, outside your own territories, and it's working. So how are you distracting people from the tragedy and you're getting them to focus on the triumph in the midst of the tragedy, if you will? So Martha, what kind of messages are you sending to your people? Man, I'm seeing like Norway, every time I look in one of our team pages, you're inviting, you're welcoming somebody, or somebody in your team is welcoming somebody. What is, the mantra, if you will, or what is the conversation like that you're giving to your people to motivate them to continue to champion through, the crisis?
I believe that, because of the social media being available for us and online world being available for us, we can do things, and we're connected with people. So on my Facebook page, whatever my belief is, I'm always like bringing that out, and the message, making sure that people are focusing on what they need to focus on and things like that. And I think, and again, a lot of people are resilient. A lot of people have gone through a lot of things. So it's not just me, but a lot of people, there are people who have the same mindset that we have. Yeah. And they understand that things will be okay someday. And until stuff is okay, then they have to do what they have to do. And also, just like you said, Johnny, at this time, people are very uncertain about their jobs. Yep. And, their income, because things are changing really rapidly. And if you're really stuck at home, you might as well do something productive. So right. People are open to opportunities because of that. But just like you said as well, like the last 2 weeks things have been a little bit more, a little bit crazier. So, but I think this is how we're going to continue to build, because there's opportunities in the midst of the storm. So absolutely, yeah. Focus on that. So what is a conversation like with somebody? Let's say that I'm in your team and I joined 2 months ago, and I call you and I say, hey, Martha, I see that, you have certain people in your team that are rising, but my team is falling. What would you say to that person who called you with with type of information? You're an Emerald. You hit Emerald last month, right? Yeah. You hit Emerald in February, which is a high level in our company, and you maintained, and you hit Emerald before March the 20th. Yeah. So you regained Emerald March the 20th. So you hit it and you regained it early on this month. So there's no question, you're making it happen. Your numbers are moving, but let's just say I'm that person in your team that's it's getting swallowed by all the negative. And I'm calling you, Martha, I'm going to whine a little bit. Martha, I don't know what to do. I know the team is growing. I see you hitting rank. I see that you're helping people hit rank. You're celebrating people every day. Your team is growing. Mine is following. Martha, what can I do? Well, I do have some questions. Maybe not exactly like that, Johnny, but I do have some questions come up that say, how can we build it? Because people are like, they're distracted. They're really not focusing on that. So, the thing is, the opportunity that we have, the way I see it, it's not about today. It's always about, our clients, our customers. It's about future clients. We're generating lead the company. We're not really necessarily selling anything where people maybe not be able to buy anything at that time. So that's the kind of opportunity we have. And I understand that concept. So I try to explain to my team and have them understand the concept. And not only that, I also, help them, I make sure that they're also talking to people that way. Our opportunity, but is not about today's sell. It's really not. It's about generating leads, and we can generate leads because when things are okay, then, potential clients we've already worked on that. So it's all about preparation. So, some people, and not only that, also, thank God for our company, because, the company has really stepped up and up a lot of training every single day to make sure that people are staying in the right mindset. And a lot of my team members actually don't understand English because we're from a country called Eritrea, and our language is actually called Tigrinya. Now nobody really knows about it. So we're also stepping up to actually start training every single day, inspirational trainings, to make sure that because some people, their mindset may not be there to actually stay strong in times like this. So we support the team that way.
I love it. Great leadership, man. Super, super leadership. So Horace, right back at you. Horace has had probably the most consistent growth that I have seen from the day of joining in our team. Like in terms of the consistency, day after day, weekly, growth. And that's why I wanted to have him on. He's a Ruby in our team, and his organization has been massively consistent. And I want to give a shout out to Michael Jex, because Michael Jex is the reason, our Diamond Michael Jex is the reason that we're doing this webinar. He came to me and he said, Johnny, Horace is just absolutely killing it. He's keeping the consistency. We need to do something where we can interview people who are, maintaining and sustaining growth in the midst of a crisis. And I said, well, I know somebody right off the top. It's Martha. And he says, I know somebody right off the top. It's Horace. So Horace, right now, your consistency and growth is unquestioned. Like nobody can question your consistency. You are the man of consistency. But my question to you is, how did you maintain the consistency in the midst of so much negative panic? So I'm calling you, Horace. Horace, man, I know that you're building. I know that things are happening for you, but my team has stopped. My team is just paranoid. My team is not doing anything right now. Clue number one, I wonder why, because you're their leader. Like, if that's your mindset and you're the leader, of course they're going to think like you. So the first thing I want to do is like interrupt your language and get your people to me, because you're killing your business just based on your personality, based on your attitude, just based on the way that you're talking. Like, I'm cool with you bringing that to me, but for some reason, I believe that your team is hearing how you feel because they're stopping because of what you just said. So Horace, I'm coming to you. I'm complaining. What is your message to the people that are using, the virus as an excuse to go down instead of go up and prospering in this business?
So first of all, thank you, Michael Jex, for getting me on this call. I should have said that earlier. So it's quite a few things from it, Johnny. Here's what happened. We started a culture long before the virus. Everything in this business has been residual. So because we started that culture long before the virus, is that we had already created that distraction. We had already created that antibody to defend against things that are happening. I love it. Yeah, we started that culture of let's make money, let's celebrate each other. So we do simple things like if somebody earns $1.50 for their residual, we celebrate that more than the person who made $1,000. Because it's to let the quote unquote the smaller person understand that like Martha said, it's not about now, it's about the future. So we have so many persons, they're being celebrated for just the smaller accomplishments. It's not about the big stories, because I learned that from you. And if you want to make a lot of money, tell the small stories. So we adopted that principle, and because we adopted that principle, it has just been working. So so now that we have a virus, yes, we do get objections, but we're definitely casting vision. And I'm the type of person, I love to read. So I'm always looking at stuff that can empower people.
Yeah.
So even in my presentations is not just a presentation, it's also a lesson for the team. So I'll always gather my guys and say, listen, I found a new way to say something. I want you to hop onto this presentation, but do invite prospects, because they're going to hear it and you're going to hear it at the same time. So, history has always shown us that we have always bounced back, and history will continue to repeat itself. A recession, I let my guys know, a recession doesn't mean that the money has stopped. I think I heard Edwin Haynes with that one. It just means that the money is changing hands. And how I look at it is, if we have $1 million that was printed and released into the economy, all a recession means is that the money is changing hands, and it's the person who can bring the most value that will extract most of that wealth. You get me? So I look at it like, if you hold on to yours, you aren't going to get any. So you have to take and give back. It's like a boomerang. You give, it comes back, you keep a little, you give again, because your dollar being spent at the supermarket, it keeps somebody employed. But then that money makes its way all the way back into your organization in the form of a monthly fee or a sign-up fee or anything of that sort. So it's just that mindset to let people know that we're helping each other, we're helping the cause. And for me, I let them know that it wasn't about the travel. I never joined iBuumerang because it was a travel company. So if they joined because it was a travel company, now's the time to kind of rewire that thinking because that's not what we are. We're a solutions company. You know, Amazon is a solutions company. And like I say, I like to find these stories. So, you know, in these adversities, this is when I spend time to build my faith, like you said.
Yeah.
And one of the ways I build my faith, I don't look at emotions, I look at logics. Sure. And there's this great story about, you know, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. When he was creating Amazon, he already had the end in mind. The end in mind was, I'm going to create an online store that sells everything. But you have to start in stages. So in 1994, when he started Amazon, he made a list of 20 items he was about to sell, and he decided to sell books. Sure. He had adversities because right around 2000, the dot-com bubble crashed. But that never stopped Jeff Bezos from becoming, you know, the world's richest man. In 1997, when he put out the stocks, it was $2 for a share. Now it's $2,000. So I'm now casting that vision saying, listen, we're not here for what iBoomerang is today. We're here for what it is going to be 2 to 5 years from now. And what we are right now, like Martha said, we're generating leads. I just copied that one. I have it in my notes. But what I look at myself as right now, I'm like the Walmart. I'm a distributor. So iBoomerang has coach, business, first class. My job is to go distribute those packages until we're able to make money from those customers. So we're focusing on the opportunity.
I love it. I love that, man. So this is so good for me and so good to me, because a lot of the things that I'm hearing you say are things that I've taught in the last, few months and years with you. And your words coming back to me is like really hitting me hard, because a lot of the things I recognize words that you've adopted from me that I've adopted from other individuals like Ultim Bugs and so forth and so on. And, the key, you just said something, both of you guys, that's really, really ringing hard in my soul right now, because, us as leaders, we have the obligation to push people into their destiny. And I really want you to understand, I'm going to repeat that. Us as leaders, we have the obligation to compliment and push people into their destiny, even when they stop seeing it, even when they slow down. It is your leadership, guys, Martha and Horace. It is your leadership that's keeping, the things in motion. And I know, your uplines and even beyond me, I look at, Alex and Jennifer. I look at Lloyd and Clay, Clay Fishman, who are part of the uplines for Martha. And I look at what they're doing. I look at how consistent they are, how excited they are, like congratulating, thanking me for having you on this call this morning, Martha. Like everybody is looking up to you. They're looking at you. They see what's going on. So obviously, the obvious is we have every excuse in the world to crash and burn. We have every excuse. And here's the problem. Nobody is going to tell us, get off your ass and go to work right now. Why? Because that sounds insensitive. Yeah. Like we're in a situation right now where people are so insensitive, pushing makes us nervous. But you're not pushing people, you're giving them something to follow. There's a difference. Any leader can push people to do something that they don't want to do. That can borderline manipulation. But when you give them something to follow, you're giving them inspiration. So you're not just leading, pushing people to do things just so you can benefit. You're giving them something to follow. So what would you say to people who are watching right now, Martha, that they're more focused on the obstacle than they are the opportunity? And whatever you focus on expands. Even the Bible says, as a man thinks in their heart, so are they. That's who they become, and that's who they manifest into. So if you're thinking tragedy, you're becoming tragedy. If you're thinking negative, you're becoming negative. If you're thinking the world's about to end, your world is ending. Yeah. So how do you not just interrupt, but you're being the message that you bring. And to me, that's the best form of leadership. You're giving them something to follow. So would you say, Martha, that the presentations that you are giving, your amount of exposures in iBoomerang, have they gone up in the last 2 or 3 weeks, or have they gone up or have they gone down?
They've gone up.
Is it because you're using technology to your advantage?
Yes, absolutely. That, and also, like one of the things that my good mentors, Alex Lee, says is when something like this happens, he says that I'm going to work harder, which I love. That. So basically, it's really fighting the situation, especially mentally. I think the biggest enemy that we have, yes, coronavirus is our enemy, but our mind is also our enemy. So we have to protect that mind at this time, because if we're scared, we're actually going to get weaker in every way. Yeah. Our decision making is not going to be good. Sometimes if people feel like they're sick, I mean, they're too afraid, they might start getting sick. Not necessarily coronavirus, but something else. So why should I really harm my body, my mind at this time? We have to stay extremely positive, and to stay positive, first of all, not focus on, just like you say, Johnny, not focus on what's going on too much. If you can't do anything, I mean, if I'm a medical doctor and I have to do something about it, or if I am going to work on a research to cure coronavirus, that would be my focus. If I'm going to be doing something about it. At this moment, the only thing we can do is actually...
Hold on a second. Can you come back, please? Or shut my studio door, sorry. The cleaning crew here is in my office. It's okay, just shut my studio door, it's okay. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go, did you finish your sentence? I'm sorry. You can close this door. Thank you.
Yeah, so what we can do is we protect ourselves, just like you said, stay home, protect ourselves, make sure that our families and ourselves are we're safe, that just, you know, understand the directives of, you know, the healthcare providers and what they're saying, understand that and just follow that to be safe, but not really focus on just think about it 24/7, because that's not really going to help us. So focus on, you know, maintaining your good mindset, working on your mindset, and also doing what you're supposed to do. Because for us, to be honest, it's really business as usual. Nothing really has changed for what we do. The opportunity is still there. It's actually, we should actually increase our activities more, because more people need what we do right now.
Got it.
So that's really why we push it more. And just like you said, we've been building online. Everything we've done it online. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can see you, but you're frozen, but I can still hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback off of that just real quick, guys. So again, we've heard it a million times. Whatever we focus on expands. The secret, whatever you think. Hold on, we got a surprise. I just got really stunned. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, totally off the cuff and totally unexpected. Please welcome the founder and CEO of iBuumerang, Mr. Holton Bugs. Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and we can see you live, man. Listen, I know you've probably been on. I didn't know it. Crystal just called me. I'm like, why are you calling me? I'm live right now, baby.
Hey, I've been texting you as well. I'm like, and I'm looking, and I'm like, he's got his computer down. He probably has zero distractions, and he's not going to answer a text. I'm like, somebody get a hold of JW.
You went straight to my wife.
Awesome. Oh, good. Well, she saw my comments in there. But anyway, guys, you know, first of all, I just wanted to get on, and and just give a incredible congratulations and thank you, first of all, to Johnny Wimbrey for doing putting this call together, and for Michael Jex for even inspiring what needed to happen. And that's a lesson in itself. It's leadership. And it's kind of what Horace said, is that we are a solutions company. And it's not only the product that we provide or the technology that is a solution, but we also must understand that the assets that we possess in our ideas become solutions. And that's exactly what I'm seeing happening right here. I've been on the call since the very beginning. I saw that you posted it up, and number one, made it available for any other diamonds to be able to come on and listen on. And it falls right in line with what we should be doing. I called this morning several leaders. I've talked to several company owners. I sent out a message to several major influencers in the network marketing industry. And I sent messages today of letting them know, hey, listen, anything that I could do for you and your cause or any other company owner that's suffering right now, just let me know. I don't need any recognition for it. Doesn't have to be public, because this is a moment for leadership and solutions and ideas. a lot of companies are struggling right now. A lot of them are struggling. And in that struggle, they need someone to talk to. And so when I saw you put this message out, it gave me, number one, the validation, not that I needed it, of the resemblance of leadership that you and I both possess. And it's not necessarily leadership, it's the generosity as well, of saying, let me not keep my stories to myself. Let me not keep my experience to myself. This past week has been probably one of the busiest weeks I've ever worked since iBuumerang has launched, maybe outside of the very beginning of the launch. And I may even compare it to that. I have not come up for air at all, because what we decided that we had to do was reshape our entire company, reshape our entire culture, reshape our strategy, redesign certain things that we need to do. And we only had a week to do it. We've only had a week to do it. And I'm proud to say, because of that, and I want to get to Martha and Horace in a second, but because of that, our company is actually growing. I've got an article that I wanted to put out on Business for Home, as we have one published probably every 2 weeks. But I've been a little hesitant. I've sent it to several company owners saying to read this and make sure that it doesn't come across insensitive and bragging, because we're growing. And it's really a good news and a hope message to other companies that you can still grow in times like this. It just requires a lot of leadership. It requires work. We started off the month, we were about 90 to 100% ahead of where we were last month. That means we were doubling for the first 10, 12 days. And then obviously, news spread, and then obviously it tapered off, but we're still right now about 15% ahead of where we were last month from a growth perspective. And last month was a decent month. And it's a testimony to the leadership that I have around me, vision that I have around me, collaboration, things like what Johnny is doing right now, and many people who are doing it within their prospective organizations, and everyone buying into what's happening. Some of you don't know what's really going on right now, but this is an opportunity right now that we're taking to cement our culture, the basic trainings that we've got going on, the Boom TV, all of that. When the dust settles, we will be one of the most well-prepared organizations, not in network marketing, but in business, to come out as champions. Not only, as Horace mentioned, that in recessions, or what they call it recessions, and some people get confused about recessions and depressions. I say a recession is when your neighbor loses their job. A depression is when you lose yours. That's the big difference, right? But he says that money changes hands. But also the lead has the opportunity to change as well. Some people who were in first place may now be in distant 8th place. Some people who were in 8th place may be in 2nd place. And so the lead changes. Not only does money exchange hands and get back to where it needs to go, but some who maybe have, and this is no point on anybody, we just know it happens, but some who have what I call the lead in an industry, maybe because of timing, that they did something and timing is what kept them in the lead from a revenue standpoint or from a success standpoint. When things like this take place, now what happens is the dust settles, leadership takes over, and leadership always prevails, and leadership always wins. And so you see some companies that it was just timing and positioning, and they may be in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place or 1st place or whatever it is. Something like this happened, the lead has to change. And those who are most prepared are the ones who actually create what I call a shift. We're coming out of accelerate. We accelerated. But after you accelerate, you can only stand 1st or 2nd gear so long, and then you must do what? You must shift. And that's what's happening right now, is that there's a leader shift. Johnny and our mentor, TD Jakes, did a a series several years ago called Leader Shift. And that's what's taking place right now. And we're ready, we're prepared, but we haven't posted that article yet. We were talking about Italy, which now has surpassed China for most of the losses, but we're having the biggest growth in the company right now in Italy.
In Italy, yeah.
300% increase. And one of the leaders called me today and says, listen, we can't put people in fast enough. Is there a way that you can have your tech team to write a code for left team binary sign up and right team binary sign up, because it's taking us too much time to put people in. And but I say that to say this, guys, is number one, congratulations to everyone on this call. I sent this message out to some leaders that don't have upline diamonds outside of Edwin Haynes, and I sent this message to them: jump on this call here, guys, before the call started, because I knew what was going to come out of it. And my real purpose for wanting to interrupt is I'm saving the best for last. Martha and Horace, you guys have inspired me today. And I am easily inspired, but I'm not a quick sale, if you know what I mean. The reason I'm easily inspired is because I always look for inspiration. But I listen to you guys, and one of the biggest talents in the industry of network marketing is the ability to identify other talent. Nobody surprises me when they go diamond. And sometimes, we have these people who come and say, oh, I've just been working in the shadows. Okay? Sometimes we have these people who come who say, I've been working in the shadows, and I was just going to surprise you at convention with me going diamond. Doesn't work that way. We can always see it coming. And I'm sitting here, and I have been in tune. I had my morning inspiration music on. I was drinking my coffee. I'm getting up now, about to go take my brother, who's never picked up a golf club, and we've been social distancing in the house, but we're going out on this golf course in my backyard here. There's a lot of space between people, and so he's gonna be in one cart, I'll be in the other cart. But I'm like, I couldn't get my ears unglued. And I was watching you, and both of you, and I said, I hope people understand what's going on right now. It's easy to jump on a call and listen to Johnny Wimbrey. That's easy. Why? Look at the success. Johnny Wimbrey now, for me, is not as valuable as what I saw Johnny Wimbrey back in 2000. Because that was the making of Johnny Wimbrey. And anybody who had a front row seat of watching him and watching the development, that's where the gold was. What I'm seeing right now, and I don't come on and say this to everyone, and I've never had a chance to meet you guys face to face outside of, I met Horace at our leadership event that he qualified for, the 5 and 25, but you guys are watching future heroes, and not only iBuumerang, but in network marketing. That's right. Their mind, see, you can't, you can't hide success that's in a person. And I'm watching them. They're well-read, they're poised, they're prepared, they've prepared their minds. They've done everything that everybody else on this call has the ability to do. Why are they shining now? Because in their down times, they were preparing. They were getting prepared for war. They were getting prepared for success. Horace said, well, nobody in our company could travel. So anyone who makes this a big deal, we've done this before. Right. Horace, I resonate with that. My first travel company that I joined was a company called YTB. When I joined that company, they had just lost their ability to give away the travel cards. And people looked at me and says, HB, why would you join? They just lost their credentials. And instead of looking at it as a bad thing, I looked at it and says, you know what? My group don't even know what it's like to have credentials. So that's not a problem that we'll ever deal with.
That's good.
And I see you dealing with that. And I see Martha, congratulations, already have requalified from the 20th. And I look at your mindset and how you're working with your team. You guys are true champions, and what you've inspired, not only from your steadfast work, you've inspired me to get with the team. And I am going to put together not only an inspiration call, I'm going to add another channel to Boom TV that is going to be a testimonial driven channel just like this. I'm going to find somewhere to fit it in.
Yeah.
Because you guys need to be heard, and there's a lot of other stories out there that need to be heard. And I'm going to commission Johnny Wimbrey to do a lot of the hosting himself on that particular channel. You know, he's a professional. He knows how to do it. I know he serves the entire big team. But I'm very proud of you guys. I'm extremely proud to have you a part of our team, our leadership. I can't wait to hold you guys' hands as diamonds at Vision and present you your shield of loyalty, unity, and edification. So I don't want to take up your time. This is your time to shine, but I'm extremely proud of you guys. Thank you so much for your willingness to share. Thank you, Johnny Wimbrey, for putting this call together. And thank God for high-speed internet, so I was able to watch it. So I'm gonna go out here and do some gardening and dig up this golf course. I hadn't played golf in probably a year and a half, but I'm gonna play today. So,
man, I appreciate you, Holton. Thank you so much. I know Martha and Horace are just like probably not gonna be able to sleep for 3 or 4 days. Before you go, if you don't mind, because you know I always say surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you. I know that you outthink me in so many ways. What question am I not thinking to ask them right now? What should I ask them? Just that one magical Holton Bugs question for each of them.
You know, Johnny, sometimes that's a little difficult. You know, Johnny always is humble, saying I outthink him. I outthink him in different chapters. He outthink me in different chapters. And I like watching Johnny in his zone. And sometimes when I watch you, I'm watching even today as a student. I wasn't watching as the mentor. This is what you've done. You dedicated a part of your life to being able to do it. And I look at and consider you one of the best in the world to be able to do it. I can tell you, and I tell people all the time, you've inspired me more than people ever know. And I know you always give me a lot of credit. And so I'll be very candid. I can't find what's missing. I don't want to come in here and be the hero and say, here's Johnny, here's the thing that you've missed. And maybe I'm just overwhelmed with positivity and excitement, but you're very good. You're very detailed. You're very, what I call is Johnny is very spontaneously prepared. Okay. He's not going to sit down and he has not thought of these questions yesterday. He thought of these questions as soon as those questions came up. He doesn't have any of them written down, but you know, he is spontaneously prepared. So man, just great job. Keep doing more of what you're doing. I'm gonna stay on and listen. I'm gonna mess up this golf course anyway. I might as well get inspired while I do it. So peace out, dig it guys. Up. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. There he is, guys.
Absolutely.
The $100 million man, soon to be the $1 billion. Now he's worth over $1 billion in sales, but I'm talking about in iBuumerang, well over $1 billion coming soon. So Holton, I appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. Thank you. I greatly appreciate your compliments and just you jumping on. Martha and Horace, let's keep the ball rolling. How exciting was that for you guys?
Oh my goodness.
Unexpected.
All right, Martha, you know, let's keep the ball rolling. How are you feeling right now based on what Mr. Holton Bugs just said?
Well, first of all, I'm very excited that he actually stepped in to say what he said. But you know, it's amazing what, you know, to be in a company that you know, we have the kind of leadership that we have with Holton. And to be honest, I knew Holton from afar. I didn't know him. Actually, I knew you more because I actually saw your interview with Eric Worre, and I was really inspired by that. So about Holton, I heard a lot, but I respected him, but I did not know who he was. And the more I'm in this company and just having that coaching from him, the mindset and everything, it makes me very confident that not only me, a lot of people are going to win. And I think that's really my biggest excitement, because, you know, some of us will work hard for anything that, I mean, I guess we have like kind of like prepared our mindset or whatever. Like we've gone through paid our dues to be prepared, but some people are just getting started. They're just getting started. And some people, you know, just because they're getting started and they are not that prepared, they may not make it all the way in a lot of opportunities. But I know in iBoomerang, a lot of people that are just getting started are going to make it because of the leadership that we have, because of the system, because of the innovation, because it's so just different. It's totally it. So that makes me really excited, and we've got the great leadership and everything.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Horace, come on, man. Step back up to the plate. How you feeling, baby?
I got work to do because Holden just, you know, Mr. Bugs just gave me a task of getting to Diamond by August 20th. That's all I heard.
That's all you heard.
I have to go Diamond, but you know, I've actually been listening to the Cash Cow for some time now. I've listened to that one that he did at the GoPro seminar, Expand Your Mind. And yeah, it has just been a pleasure to hear him say those nice stuff. But I've always told my guys that the recognition is never yet for me. I'm the person sitting on this call being interviewed. But the truth is, I didn't go Ruby by myself. So when he mentioned those stuff, I'm just thinking about all the persons who actually helped to make this possible. And, you know, all I can do is just continue being that person who represents well. So
I love it.
That's how I felt.
So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet both of you guys just real quick. I'm going to share some information that I want to bring you guys back on just to kind of close because this is your show. This is not my show. So just stand by just for a second. Horace, I am looking to, it's not, there you go. Okay, so you're muted. So I want to share something with you real quick, and Holton, all of you guys have alluded to the fact, and I just want to kind of train on a generic level, So let me give you an example. So right here, I am holding 5 $20 US bills. So this represents, and I want you to look at it, this represents 100 US dollars, 100 US dollars. But here it is. This is just paper. And what I'm sharing with you right now is I want you to think entrepreneur, not consumer. Consumer says, oh my God, I have 5 pieces of paper that add up to 100 US dollars. What can I go buy? And typically we would go buy something to impress other people. I want you to hear what I'm saying. We have been trained to buy things to go impress other people. Let me tell you what has not gone down in the midst of the coronavirus. The cost of commercials. The cost of commercials right now during the coronavirus has gone up. Why? Because more people are at home than the history of mankind. More people are trapped in their house watching TV, watching news. So if more eyeballs are watching news, guess what? The cost of commercials go up. But the media outlets, the owners think, I'm going to use this extra money that I have to buy commercial space. That's the value of this piece of paper. If you are a consumer, you think to yourself, I've got money, where can I spend it? An entrepreneur says, I got money, where can I place it? You see what I just said? Anybody can spend money. Entrepreneurs place the money. Now, this is what one of our mentors, Mr. Edwin Haynes, was alluding to when he talked about, money just switching hands. I'm going to say it in a different way, but I'm going to say the exact same thing. During the midst of any economical crisis, you can call it a recession, whatever you want. The reason I don't use the word recession because I just don't participate. Like 90% of the planet can participate in a recession and I just not participate. So you have the option of saying, listen, I'm going to participate with the world and say that I'm in a recession. No, I'm going to participate with the entrepreneurs and say I am building while most people are complaining about falling. But here's where the mindset comes from. I don't look at this as money. I look at it as currency. Now, hear me out. Now, listen, you want to know how I have developed a multi-million-dollar mindset? a multi-million-dollar mindset, year after year after year, my business has increased, at least for the last 15 years, which means when everybody else was having a recession, I was going up. How did I do that? It's the way I think about money. See, you see the masses see $5 $20 US bills that adds up to $100 US. I see currency. Why? This happened to me right after 9/11. Right after 9/11, when the World Trade Center was hit, and thousands of people died within a matter of minutes. Thousands of people. And economies just started getting paranoid, and everybody, rightfully so, was what's next? What's gonna happen? Is this the end of the world? My mindset was, where'd the money go? See, nobody has burnt any paper. The money is not at the bottom of the ocean hiding. People say, oh my God, coronavirus, we're going to go through a recession. No, you're going to go through a recession. But there are people who are going to prosper because their mindset is entrepreneur. You have to understand, in any denomination, in Jamaica, in Northeast Africa, in Europe, in every country, we all have currency. And the currency, whether it's a coin or a piece of paper, it's a legal tender that basically says it justifies the value and gives permission to trade. That's all it is. It's permission to trade. And you get to trade for whatever good or services that you want. So here's the deal. In a recession, the money is not at the bottom of the ocean. The money is not burnt. Nobody threw the money away. It's still there. The question is, where did it go? Edwin Haynes says, what hand did it switch to? Now, here's what I want you to understand. The only reason it's called currency in every single denomination, in every market on the planet, money is called currency. Why? What does a current do? A current moves. So I see money as something that moves, not something that spins. If you're in debt, it's because you see money as something to spend. I see money as something to move. I'm making the largest purchase of my life right now in the next 72 hours. Why? Because I see money as something that moves. Currency moves. That's why it's called current. What do rivers do? What do oceans do? What do lakes do? The water moves. There's a current. So if it's called a current, it's called a current for a reason. It's because nobody burns it. Nobody's throwing it away. Nobody's hiding it at the bottom of the ocean. You just got to figure out, where did it go? If it left this hand and it went to this hand, did you participate in the movement? That's really what you want to understand. How do you position yourself to ride the current, to ride the wave? Not just ride the wave, how do you position yourself to be ahead of the wave? So when the wave hits and the current comes, how do you get on that wave and ride it? That's how an entrepreneur thinks. Now listen, right now, for the first time in mankind, this has never happened in the history since there was Adam and Eve on this planet. Never has this happened. For the first time in your history, my history, your parents' history, your grandparents' history, and so forth and so on, for the first time ever, everyone is focused on one word, and that word is called the coronavirus. Everybody is focused on social distancing. Everybody is focused on keeping their families safe and at home. Everybody is worried about toilet paper. Everybody is worried about things that the media is telling us to worry about. What I'm worried about is the currency. Where is the current going to move? For the first time in history, the whole planet is saying stay home. But also, for the first time in history, your boss, the owner of your company, your CEO and your president of whatever company you work for or work with, is figuring out, how can we keep business moving while my employees are at home? So for the first time, the world is agreeing that it's possible to make money from home. This has never happened. It has never happened where the whole world pauses and says, is it possible to make money from home? Normally what they say is, oh my God, it's one of those things. Home-based business. My Uncle Cornbread did one of those. It didn't work for him, so it won't work for me. Holton Bug said this the other day, where someone said it and it led back to Holton, but they said, when was the last, how often do you compare yourself with people who lose? Well, I know somebody who lost in a home-based business. It didn't work for them. How often do you compare yourself with losers? And how much more of that do you want in your life that you compare yourself with losers? Why not compare yourself with winners? Martha is winning in the midst of a crisis. Horace is winning in the midst of a crisis. Michael Jackson is winning. Clay Feshman is winning. Lloyd is winning. Jen and Alex are winning. Thomas and Annie are winning. Edwin Haynes is winning. Fernanda is winning. Jose Luis is winning. In the midst of crisis, you have all these people who are winning in iBuumerang. Why? Because the first time, listen, we've been telling people, I want to stand up so bad, but my head will be cut off. People right now around the world, for the first time, are understanding that you can make money from home. The point is, the problem is, you only believe it because your boss is saying it now. You only believe it because society is saying you can take your computer home and make money for your boss at home, which means it's always been possible for you to make money at home. But the question is, are you going to make money for you at home? Are you going to build a legacy for your children's children for you because you're already in the mindset of working at home? Here's the trick. How do you position yourself? Because the current is coming. The current is happening whether you see it or not. Currency is happening. It is moving, guys. Money is moving from one hand to the other. There is a current happening right now. How do you position yourself? Home-based business. What's the best home-based business to be involved with right now? It's technology. It's not a consumable product. Nobody trusts, or when I order things right now and it comes to my doorstep, I spray it with alcohol even before it enters my house. People are paranoid even with things being delivered to your house. So lipstick will go down. Nobody cares about lipstick right now. They care about living. Nobody cares about, water purification systems being sent to their house right now, or nutritionals or products or vitamins. I'm not saying they don't care. The trust factor. Who's delivering it to my house? But technology is going up. How do I know? We're not even broadcasting live on Facebook right now. I'm going to rebroadcast this on Facebook as soon as this is over, and I'm going to rebroadcast it live and do, live watch parties. Why? Because technology with Facebook has so many interruptions right now. Why? Because people are at home on social media. More so than ever right now. So here's the thing. Position yourself for the current. You can wait for everybody to start traveling again and then say, I want to get in position. No, that's not how it works. The current passed you because you waited. So now you're going to ride a current that has already passed you. So you're riding behind a wave. And I'm not saying you can't be successful riding behind a wave. But for the smart people, for the Martha, for the Horace, for the, so many leaders who are out there, so many new people who have joined in the last 4 weeks that are making things happen. So many new people who joined in the last 7 days that are welcoming new people to their, to their private groups and their chats. Now, this is really where you want to pour it on. If you want to position yourself ahead of the wave, listen, number one thing that happens in the midst of a crisis right now, the number one thing that's happening right now is Netflix memberships are going through the roof. On-demand video orders right now, movies, comedy, whatever it is, it's going through the roof right now. Why? Because people want to laugh. People want to smile. So Netflix, Amazon, Apple TV, so many networks out there are prospering. Why? Listen to me very carefully, guys. You've got to understand how currency works. You've got to understand that it's moving with or without you. I'm excited right now because I'm giving you some information that I love to teach, and I charge about $5,000 an hour to teach this information. You're getting it for free. If you want to position yourself ahead of currency, you got to think entrepreneur. Netflix right now, their biggest problem is to stay alive. Not because they're drowning in the lack of money. They are drowning in the abundance of people, the abundance of memberships, the abundance of people renewing their subscription and not letting it fall. Why? See, here's the thing you got to focus on. Why are people watching TV right now, movies and comedy shows and record-breaking numbers? Why? Because people want that 2-hour, that 90-minute mental vacation from reality. I guarantee if Holt is listening to me right now, there's no way he can golf. Because he can hear it in my voice. 90-minute mental vacation from reality. People, that's a virtual vacation. But typically it only lasts 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then you're going to see news again. So if the entire masses are running to on-demand television and social media for that mental vacation from reality, what do you think they're going to do when the virus is gone? You think they're going to go on real vacations now? They're already taking those mental virtual vacations. Guys, listen to me. iBuumerang is ahead of the wave right now. Vibe Rides is ahead of the wave. Everybody is here panicking. And everything on the planet says the current is going to be travel. The current is going to be technology. And iBuumerang is ahead of the current saying, we're waiting. And the wave is going to pick us all up at the same time. And some of your children's children will participate in your wealth because of the decisions that you will make today. So let me ask you a question. Is it better to be recruiting customers and recruiting ambassadors to be in iBuumerang? Is it better to do it now as we are moving towards what's inevitable? The inevitable is this virus will be destroyed. And people are going to be walking out their doors for the first time in a way they haven't walked out in a very long time coming out of this virus. So no longer are they looking for that mental vacation. They're going to be looking for the real deal. Do you want to be in position to offer the real deal now? Or do you want to wait until the virus is gone? Entrepreneurs are saying, let's do it now. Let's get positioned now. So here's what I encourage you to do. You need to use technology in your favor. We have presentations every single day on Boom TV. It's always live. We have one coming up, I believe, in 45 minutes from now. If I'm right, give me a thumbs up to make sure I'm correct. It's Sunday, so maybe a little bit different. But there are presentations that are going on. The person who sponsored you in iBuumerang, get into your live chats, get into your Facebook pages, whatever it is, and find out when the next presentation is going to happen today. Because all you got to do from the comfort of your own home, you're building your small army. Let's say you get 5 people that you personally bring in as ambassadors during the crisis. And just say in the next couple of weeks. And those 5 people get 5 people. That's 25 people. And those 25 people get 5 people. Now I believe that's 125. And those 125 people get 5 people. Now you're almost to 1,000. And let's just say all of those individuals by the end of the year create 10 free customers. Do you understand what just happened? Because you didn't wait for the cure. You positioned yourself ahead of the cure. This is the time when you need to be going non-stop building your organization. Because listen, entrepreneurs think, how can I position myself ahead of where the current is going? How do I get ahead of it? This is how you get ahead of it. You get as many ambassadors in your team in the next 90 days than you ever dreamed of having. Because they're at home, they're thinking home-based business, and everybody is looking for something to do. Number 2, you get as many customers in your organization as you can. Why? Because people are at home. It's free to become a customer. They can browse the internet. They can take those mental vacations, looking at our deals, looking at the prices. Listen, the prices of flights, the prices of vacations right now are at an all-time low. I don't know that we'll ever live to see these prices again. We have the product that only our free customers have access to see exist. Only our ambassadors have access to see that it exists. We're booking vacations already for November. Why? Because they're so cheap right now. Be the message that you bring. Be a product of the product. Go book something. I don't care if it's 6 months or a year from now. Go book something on your website and start bragging about how amazing your company is and do a screenshot of where you booked. Then people are going to start DMing you. Are you crazy? Why are you thinking about travel right now in the midst of a crisis? I'm not thinking about travel right now in the midst of a crisis. I'm thinking about positioning myself to make money during the crisis so I can use the money that I'm making during the crisis to go home, have fun after the crisis. You see the mindset? You see the mindset? So think entrepreneur, don't think consumer. The world thinks consumer. The world thinks consumption. Entrepreneurs think, how do I position myself? So with all that being said, I'm going to bring Horace and Martha back. I want you guys to take about 2 to 3 minutes apiece and just leave the people with something. I want them to get a nugget from you as a leader. Doesn't have to be polished, doesn't have to be perfect. I want it to be off the cuff. I want it to be real, and I want it to be raw. There are people who are watching right now, and they're saying, Martha, how are you sustaining the momentum? How are you sustaining the positive attitude? How are you keeping your people motivated? Horace, what are you doing, man? You're on an island. You're not getting in your car doing live presentations because you're respecting social distance. So how are you using technology to your best benefit, your best interest? Let me give you an example, guys. Right now on Zoom alone, just on Zoom alone, there are 445 people watching live at 11:19 a.m. in the morning in Texas. In the whole world, we're on different time zones, but why would 446 crazy people, why are you watching this right now? Because everybody's running to technology. The fact that you're watching me right now is proof that I'm right. So why would you run from what's right when what's right can cause you to prosper? So as we're getting done, I want everybody to do screenshots. Say thank you, Johnny Wimbrey. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Horace. So when their face is live, just do mine now. While I'm big in your screen, do a screenshot. Tag me on social media at Wimbrey, and I will repost it and have fun with that too. At Wimbrey screenshot. Hopefully you can put yourself in the picture too. When Horace is talking, do a screenshot. When Martha is talking, do a screenshot. I'm gonna go in the level of rank. Normally I would do ladies first. But lady, you're the lady's the big boss on campus. So I want to end it with Horace. And I want to remind you, Horace has the absolute most consistent growing organization since the day he joined at iBuumerang that I've seen. Most consistent growth, and he's sustained it even in the midst of a crisis. So Horace, the people want to hear from you, man. Leave them, let's take about maybe 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Talk to the people, keep it real, the beautiful baby girl. Let's go.
So, this is the answer for me right here. The day I joined iBuumerang, and of course she doesn't want to stay, but the day I joined iBuumerang, for me, it was my daughter has to eat. I'm not going to be playing with my future. I could be one sign up away from diapers. I could be one sign up away from feeding. I could be one sign up away from getting her into a new home. I could be one sign up away from getting her the education that she deserves. So I can't be sitting and playing, when I have people that are counting on me. I control my economy. The economy doesn't control me. So I've just always been focused on working. It doesn't matter if you call me 1 a.m. As long as I can hear the phone ring, I'm going to answer because people are out there looking for something. And it's my job to help support those people and at the same time support my family. So these are times when, you just have to do what you have to do for your family. You have to do what you have to do for your friends because they're counting on you. So for me, from the day I got started, I just hit the ground running. I never stopped. Even I feel tired, even I'm sick, I just never stopped. Kept on going. The other day I had a lung infection. They had to force me to stay home. I was willing to go out and actually still get work done. But they said, all right, no, enough is enough. There's coronavirus out there. You have to protect yourself. But for me, I didn't really care. I just need to get things done by any means necessary. And so my daughter, my family, that's my biggest why. That's my biggest inspiration. So for me, it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. I'm just going to get things done. And I do understand that there will be people right now who are participating in a recession. So they'll want to hold on to money. if usually, if before you had to show 10 people to get 2, now you might have to show 20 to get 2, but it doesn't matter. You can still get 2. You can still get your 2. You can still benefit from that fast start bonus. It doesn't really matter. So that's just it for me right now.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Love to Jamaica. Thank you for being on, and all of your teams from around the world. I know you're growing internationally, not just in Jamaica, but love to the beautiful island of Jamaica. Wagwan, thank you so much, Horace Daley. Now, Martha, the queen, making things happen. You hit rank in the midst of, you went emerald in the midst of the coronavirus, and you regained emerald during the worst week to date of the coronavirus. Talk to your people. What do you want your people to know? And don't worry about the other people. Talk to your people, because I know if you're talking to them, you're being, organically who you are. But leave us with, a message like Horace. I greatly appreciate that, Horace. But leave us with something, Martha. And I do want to talk about, I want you to name drop the countries that are expanding in your organization just in the last 7 to 14 days. So Martha, this is your outro. Take it away.
First of all, Johnny, I want to say thank you for putting together this call. I really do appreciate you giving us this chance to share what we have. But I also want to just tell you that I'm learning a lot from you, from Halton, from all the leadership. It's just, I'm just in the right place at the right time, and I'm really appreciative of that. And I know that all my team are getting that kind of inspiration and learning as well. So this is great for all of us. So thank you so much. So what I would say really is, adversity hits us in different ways. Sometimes personally in our personal lives, sometimes globally, the way it's happening right now. I may not have seen it in my lifetime that this kind of adversity has happened, but it's happened in history lots of times. And one thing I know, if you really feed your fear, first of all, you're going to make wrong decisions for yourself and for your family. You really don't want to feed your fear. There's 2 kinds of people at any given time in the world. There are people who are focusing on the positive. They are leading. They are, and those people rise and become successful. And there's the masses as well. So, if you really want to be successful, you got to see what other successful people are doing, do what they're doing. Really, we've got to take that leadership, and then and whatever the masses are doing, just being afraid, crippled, just watching news, just talking about it all the time and just feeling crippled, we got to do the exact opposite. That's really what we need to do. And one thing that I've learned, in the last 5 years during my, building network marketing, I was not a goal setter before network marketing. I did not like setting goals before network marketing, because I didn't like failing. If I didn't achieve it, then it scares me. So I might as well not set goals. So luckily, my mentor taught me how to set goals. And the miracle with setting goals is if you actually set them, if you write down your goals and you actually put it out there, there's actually a very high chance that you're going to achieve them. Even if you don't achieve them now, you're going to achieve them next month. And, I just want to share this. In February, 10 days before, like right after Accelerate, which is 10 days before the month ended, my point wasn't anywhere near for me to rank up to Emerald. I only had a few days, and actually wrote, I texted Alex and I said, I wish February had 3 days. I wish I had like another day so that I can make it to Emerald. But I had said that I'm going to be Emerald in February at the beginning of it. And Accelerate counts, the momentum starts, and 4 hours, I would say about 6 hours before the day ended, I became Emerald. So setting goals is very, very powerful thing. So I think, we have to start really setting weekly goals. I'm going to, and there are people in my team actually who said, I'm going to binary qualify this week, and they've done it. I want to share one story, actually. One of my team members.
Where are they from?
Where are they from? Oh, the person that did that is actually from the US. She's from Phoenix. But I also have one team member in one team that was growing in one leg. This is before the compensation changed. And the other leg wasn't really growing. He wasn't really personally recruiting as much as he wanted to. And he was discouraged. He was negativity was really kind of like, you know, overcoming him. And I told him, okay, let's talk. This was on Monday. I said, you know what do you want to happen? What do you want to do this week? Tell me what you want. And he said, I'd like to sponsor 3 people. And I told him, okay, to sponsor 3 people, this is the number of people you need to talk to. Are you willing to do that between today and Sunday? And he said, yes. Okay, can you start doing that? And let's meet on Sunday. So he started. He set the goal, he started. And that day, on Monday, he sponsored 3 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then that's when I told him, okay, this is how it works. If you set the goal, you're going to achieve it. So I believe that right now, everybody that's, you know, in this business or somebody who's about to come to this business, we need to set a goal and just, you know, focus on that goal. And we're going to make things happen for ourselves, for our family, for our lives. And that's just how you create success. So thank you. I love it.
I love it, man. Listen, this has been so inspirational to me. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Holton up on that offer. I want to find 2 to 3 people in the next 72 hours to interview again. So throughout the week, I'm going to say maybe 72 hours, maybe every 4 days. We'll see what Holton says. But we're going to interview 3 people who are prospering in the midst of the crisis, that are like having critical advancements in their business in the midst of a crisis. And we're starting with you guys. This is a historical call, never been done before. I congratulate you guys. I celebrate you. And I want to leave you with something just real quick. In 30 minutes from this second, if you're watching live, 30 minutes from this second, my girl, young lady, I call her my girl because she's like a baby sister to me. Jayla Pippins is going live to do a presentation on Zoom, as well as a Facebook, iBuumerang Facebook page live. She's going to be live in 30 minutes from right now. So if you're watching this live right now, you got 30 minutes to call everybody you know and get them to the live presentation. When you see this young lady, when I say young, she's in her early 20s. I don't even know if she's 20 yet, to be honest with you. But she is making things happen. She's a diamond in our company. She's from Atlanta, Georgia. If I were you, I would use the next 30 minutes to pack the next call out. I'm hitting enter right now. If you can see it in the chat, you can go to iBoomHub.com. If you're not live with us right now and you're watching this on a rewatch, it doesn't matter. At least 2 to 4 presentations every single day is happening right now while people are at home. And you can find the schedule on iBoomHub.com, iBoomHub.com. Just look at iBoom TV and you can see the next presentation and the entire schedule that's going on. So here's the thing. You've been inspired, you've been motivated, you've listened to Martha, you listened to Horace, you listened to me, you listened to Holton Bugs on this call. All that just happened. My question to you is, what are you going to do about it? You're inspired, you're encouraged, you're fired up. What are you going to do about it? Martha just gave an example of how she did something about it. She told her person, listen, you'll get 3 people in this amount of time, and she was there to support them and help them, and they made it happen. Made it happen. So here's what I'm telling you guys. Participate in your rescue. You want to be rescued from just thinking like a consumer? Participate and be that entrepreneur by making those phone calls for the next 30 minutes to get them on the live presentation. It's there. Go to iBoomHub.com or go to iBoomerang on Facebook. You'll see the complete schedule 30 minutes from right now, at least 4 times a day if you're watching it on a rewatch. I'm going to interview 2 to 3 people. So here's what I want you to do. Please do not inundate me with a lot of messages because I don't see them. All right. I got thousands of people in my organization. I won't see them if you inundate me with messages. Here's what I want you to do. Your Sapphire and above. Your Sapphire and above will take names of individuals, not people who just want to be interviewed by me, individuals who have made things happen. At minimum, you would have had to gotten your 2. You have to be a Get Takes 2 for the month of March for me to interview you. But I'm really looking for stories that are about consistent growth. So I will wean through them. So just know anybody that we interview has given my personal approval on their story. Doesn't mean that your story is not amazing if I don't approve it. It just means somebody else's story was more amazing and more sensitive to what people need to hear right now. So Martha and Horace, it's been my honor and my pleasure. Thank you guys for everything. I greatly appreciate you guys. Immediately after the presentation that Jayla Pippins is about to do in about 25 minutes from right now, immediately after that presentation, I am going to re-air this interview live on my Facebook page. All right? You hear what I just said? I'm going to re-air this live. So people are going to be watching it on Facebook as if it's live. And if you're watching it on Facebook and you made it all the way to this point, congratulations. Thank you so much. Get plugged into all the presentations that are going on. Remember, don't chase the paper, chase the currency. Money is currency. It's just paper when you hold it, but it's currency. Chase the currency, not the paper. Consumers chase the paper, wondering about what can I go spend this on? That's a consumer. Be an entrepreneur, chase the currency. The currency is going to travel. The currency is going to technology. While everybody's at home, everybody's using technology. So chase the currency. It's moving in the direction of technology right now. So get people to Miss Pippins. It's going to be live in about 22 minutes from right now. God bless you guys. I thank you so much. Put those screenshots out there. Tag me at Wimbrey on Instagram, at Wimbrey on Facebook, at Wimbrey on LinkedIn, at Wimbrey on Twitter. Tag me in any screenshot that you put up there. Clay Fishman, I'll see you there, buddy. God bless you, man. We'll see you guys. Make it happen. Pack it out for Jayla Pippins. I'll be there too. And immediately following her presentation, come back to my Facebook page at Wimbrey and go live and communicate and chat, because people are going to be watching it live. So your chats, you intervening, your guest being on that as well. The people who join with Jayla Pippins' presentation in 22 minutes from now, they join, and then you get them over to the live so they can get a fresh start and a fresh training and a special appearance from the one and only Mr. Holton Bugs. God bless you guys. Let's go. It takes two. It takes two. Thank you for our giants in this interview. God bless you guys. Johnny Wimbrey, I'm out. Boom.